Cosmic strings are a fascinating hypothesis that posits the existence of one-dimensional objects within the fabric of space-time. Imagine that at the moment of the Big Bang, when temperatures exceeded trillions of degrees, these strings could have formed, like cracks in the fabric of reality. They are so thin that their length can reach millions of light-years, but their width is only a few atoms. What makes these strings even more intriguing is that they can act as conductors for exotic matter, which could interact with ordinary matter in ways entirely different from what we are accustomed to. Did you know that these strings could be the cause of the existence of dark matter? According to some calculations, cosmic strings could be linked to anomalies in gravitational fields, allowing us to peer into a world that is still unexplored. And what is truly astonishing, if these strings do exist, they could violate the protection of space-time, forming so-called string vortices that could pull ordinary matter into another dimension. This already sounds like a science fiction scenario, but physicists insist that the mathematical models describing such strings have a solid foundation. Theorists like Edward Witten have proposed that strings could be the key to unifying all known forces of nature, from gravity to electromagnetism. But that's not all. If strings do exist, they could explain why our universe has such peculiarities as 3 spatial dimensions and 1 temporal dimension. Some astronomers even suggest that they could influence the rate of the universe's expansion. Now imagine, if cosmic strings do exist, how could we detect them? This could become one of the greatest challenges for future generations of physicists, and who knows what mysteries they might uncover by studying these enigmatic objects. Meanwhile, as we continue to explore the cosmos, don't forget about the strings that may be all around us, but remain invisible to our perception. On Titan, Saturn's moon, methane lakes have been discovered that bear a striking resemblance to ancient Earth. Imagine a landscape where methane flows instead of water, and this is not just a fantasy, but a reality. These lakes cover an area larger than all the Great Lakes on Earth combined, and their depth reaches 30 meters. But that's not all. Titan's atmosphere is 80% nitrogen and 20% methane, making it denser than Earth's. What does this mean? On Titan, one could potentially fly both in the air and in the methane lakes, and the conditions for life, albeit different from Earth's, become astonishing. Now imagine life forms that have adapted to such extreme conditions in these methane waters. What might they look like? Perhaps they would resemble Earth's microbes, but with unique properties allowing them to survive in the cold, where temperatures can drop to minus 150 degrees Celsius. This raises the question, how could such organisms exist? Just recently, scientists have discovered that Titan contains organic molecules essential for life, such as acetylene and diacetylene. These chemical compounds can serve as building blocks for more complex molecules like amino acids. But what is truly astonishing, methane rains on Titan can create conditions similar to those that existed on Earth billions of years ago. Do methane-based organisms actually hunt in these lakes? And the most incredible part? There are models that suggest Titan could be one of the best candidates for finding life beyond Earth, thanks to its methane ecosystems that continue to amaze scientists. Scientific missions like the Dragonfly mission plan to explore this mysterious world in the coming decades, and who knows what secrets might still be revealed. In the cosmos, there exist mysterious objects that can leave you completely baffled. Brown dwarfs. Do you know that these celestial bodies can have a mass comparable to that of Jupiter, but are unable to initiate thermonuclear reactions? This means they are in an intermediate state between stars and planets. Now imagine this. Brown dwarfs can be so cold that their surface temperature can drop to as low as 70 degrees below 0 Celsius. This makes them resemble planets, but with some stellar characteristics. For example, brown dwarfs can have atmospheres filled with methane and water vapor, creating conditions reminiscent of the early stages of planet formation. But here's what is truly astonishing. These objects can form in the same way as stars, but due to insufficient mass, they do not reach the temperature necessary for thermonuclear synthesis. As a result, they slowly cool down and fade away, transforming into something akin to cosmic ghosts. Did you know that brown dwarfs can have a diameter of up to 130 kilometers? This is the size of a small planetoid, but they possess a mass that exceeds that of a planet by several times. Some astronomers even suggest that brown dwarfs could be home to exoplanets orbiting in their atmospheres, creating conditions that could be suitable for life. And here's where things get really interesting. The existence of brown dwarfs challenges our understanding of how planets and stars form. 8 out of 10 known brown dwarfs have been discovered in the last 2 decades, and astronomers continue to search for new objects in this mysterious category. Moreover, some of them are so close to Earth that their light can be seen with the help of small telescopes. There is even a brown dwarf named SDP-1313 that is located just 7 light-years away from us, and its study could help unravel the mysteries of solar system formation. And the most remarkable thing? Brown dwarfs can have their own moons, opening up new horizons for research in astronomy. Astronauts returning from missions in orbit often mention a mysterious, cosmic smell they experience after venturing into open space. This phenomenon has become a subject of discussion and even scientific research, as its description sounds completely unusual. Imagine this: a mixture of hot metal, welding, and cooked meat that fills their spacesuits after hours in the vacuum of space. But how does this happen? It turns out that in space, there are tiny particles that settle on the spacesuits during their exit. These particles are remnants of various chemical elements and compounds that behave differently in the vacuum than they do on Earth. When astronauts return to the ship and remove their spacesuits, they breathe in air saturated with these remnants, and that's when this unusual smell begins. What's even more intriguing is that chemical reactions occur even in the absence of oxygen. For example, carbon-containing molecules can interact with other elements on the surface of the spacesuit, forming new compounds that cause this specific aroma. Astronomers and chemists are working to understand these processes, and perhaps in the future, we will be able to more accurately determine which elements contribute to this smell. No astronaut can precisely explain why the smell is exactly like this. It remains a mystery that still needs to be solved. But what's truly astonishing is that the smell of space, as described by astronauts, is the result of the interaction of particles, leading to the creation of entirely new compounds that do not exist on Earth. It turns out that in space, there are not only stars and planets, but also a whole world of chemistry waiting to be explored. Planet WASP-12b is not just an exoplanet. It's a true cosmic inferno, located 37 light-years away from Earth. Imagine a world where the temperature exceeds 800 degrees Celsius, and the atmosphere is so thin that it can be compared to steam rising from boiling water. But that's not all. WASP-12b is so close to its star that gravitational forces deform its shape, giving it an egg-like appearance, as if it's about to melt. This effect was captured by observations using the Hubble Space Telescope, which revealed that the planet is losing its atmosphere into space at a rate of more than 30 kilometers per second. But how is this possible? The answer lies in its incredibly short orbital period around the star. One day on WASP-12b is only 28 hours on Earth. This means the planet is subjected to intense radiation and gravitational forces, leading to its constant evaporation. Remarkably, at such proximity to the star, the surface temperature can reach values so high that even metal would begin to melt. But that's not the most incredible part. Scientists suggest that due to the constant evaporation of the atmosphere, clouds of molten metals like sodium and magnesium could form on the planet. This creates a breathtaking sight. Imagine clouds made of droplets that are hot and bright, like the sun itself. And here's where it gets truly extraordinary. Despite these extreme conditions, WASP-12b remains an active area of study. Scientists are trying to understand how such planets can exist and how their atmospheres interact with their surroundings. For instance, it has been observed that the planet loses almost 30% of its mass over a short period. What's even more astonishing? This means that in a few billion years, there might be nothing left of the planet except for its exposed core. Such observations raise numerous questions about how planets form and how they can survive in such hostile conditions. On Jupiter, a colossal storm known as the Great Red Spot is raging, and this is not just any meteorological phenomenon. The diameter of this storm is approximately 40,000 kilometers, 3 times the diameter of our planet. Every time astronomers direct their telescopes towards this cosmic marvel, they are amazed by its power and longevity. The storm, which has been existing for more than 350 years, is indeed a phenomenon. But did you know that the wind speed in its center can reach 250 kilometers per hour? It's as if a hurricane were sweeping everything in its path, but on the scale of an entire planet. It's hard to imagine the immense atmospheric forces that must be at work on Jupiter to create such colossal vortices. Moreover, the Great Red Spot is not static. It constantly changes its shape and color. It's interesting to note that in recent decades, its size has significantly decreased, and some scientists suggest that this could be a sign that the storm is approaching its end. But what could cause the disappearance of such a mighty phenomenon? This enigma keeps scientists scratching their heads, as they believe that changes in atmospheric temperature and complex interactions with other atmospheric flows could play a key role. Now imagine standing at the edge of this storm, witnessing as its vortex carries away clouds and dust, which are 10 times thicker than the most powerful hurricanes on Earth. But that's not all. More complex models show that even stronger storms are raging in the lower layers of Jupiter's atmosphere, of which we are not even aware. And what's even more astonishing, the atmosphere of the planet contains a vast amount of ammonia and methane, which can interact with other chemicals to create unusual color effects. On Jupiter, it's not just the winds that are raging, but a true palette of colors, from deep red to bright orange, each one indicating what's happening in the atmosphere. Have you ever wondered what might be hiding beneath this bright and tumultuous sky? Scientific research continues, but for now, we can only observe this giant, which in its vastness hides many mysteries. And do you know what's most incredible? Similar storms can exist on other planets, but none can compare to the grandeur of the Great Red Spot. In our cosmos, there exists a cloud that will astound even the most steadfast skeptics, Sagittarius B2. Imagine this: billions of liters of ethanol floating in interstellar space. This cloud, located approximately 26,000 light-years away from us, is a veritable repository of organic molecules. The contents of this cosmic cloud are so vast that it could be used to produce 33 trillion bottles of wine. But how is this possible in the cold and empty void of space? The reason is that Sagittarius B2 is the result of complex chemical processes occurring in the interstellar medium, where stars and planets are just beginning to form. This cloud is not composed solely of ethanol, but also of numerous other organic compounds, such as methanol and acetic acid. What is even more astonishing is that it contains molecules that could serve as building blocks for life. In some cases, these molecules are formed through the interaction of stellar radiation with gases and dust. How is all this connected to our existence? Research indicates that such molecules could have ended up on early Earth, potentially playing a crucial role in the emergence of life. Now, imagine that our own solar system contains similar clouds. Distant comets and asteroids may carry analogous organic compounds that could have brought water and the necessary molecules for life to Earth. But this is not all. Sagittarius B2 continues to captivate astronomers with its extraordinary characteristics. For example, its size is astonishing. The cloud spans an area equal to 36 trillion kilometers. This is 10 times the distance from Earth to the Sun. Now imagine being in space, surrounded by such a gigantic cloud, where every liter contains so many organic substances. Research on this cloud continues, and scientists hope to uncover more of its secrets regarding its composition and origin. Each new analysis of the data may provide us with a key to understanding how life could have arisen not only on Earth, but also on other planets. Sagittarius B2 is just one of many cosmic mysteries that could fundamentally change our understanding of humanity's place in the universe. In space, there exist magnetars, neutron stars with magnetic fields trillions of times stronger than Earth's. Imagine this. The powerful magnetic effect can distort space around them, creating incredible gravitational anomalies. To grasp the scale of a magnetar's strength, consider that the magnetic field they generate can reach 32 billion Tesla, while Earth's magnetic field is only around 5/10,000ths of a Tesla. This means that if a magnetar were near our planet, it could easily destroy all electronic devices and erase data on hard drives, as if they never existed. Now, imagine these stars are formed from the collapse of a massive star, when its core shrinks to the size of a city, and energy is released in the form of powerful gamma-ray bursts. Observations show that magnetars can emit such bursts, releasing as much energy in 1 second as the sun does in its entire lifetime. What's fascinating is that these stars can rotate around their axis at incredible speeds, sometimes up to 700 times per second. This is akin to spinning a coin on a table, but with much greater power and energy. When a magnetar rotates, its magnetic field creates powerful electromagnetic waves that can generate radio waves detectable over millions of light years. These radio waves can be so strong that they can be picked up even on Earth, opening new horizons in the study of the cosmos. The most famous magnetar, SGR 1806-20, in 2004, produced a burst that was one of the most powerful ever recorded, briefly illuminating the entire galaxy. This event attracted the attention of astronomers worldwide, as such explosions can provide insights into how stars form and evolve. But how exactly do magnetars affect the star systems around them? It turns out that their powerful magnetic field can distort the orbits of neighboring stars, causing irregular movements and even leading to the formation of new stars from gas expelled into space. This process can take millions of years, but the results can be astonishing. New stars born under the influence of a magnetar can become the next great luminaries in our galaxy. Imagine this. In our galaxy, there may exist up to 40 billion planets that have the potential to be similar to Earth. It's as if every 10th star had a planet in the habitable zone, where the temperature allows water to remain in liquid form. Scientific research shows that such planets can be located at distances from their stars where conditions are ideal for life. For example, Kepler-168 has a planet the size of Earth, located about 137 light-years away from us. But that's not all. For each habitable planet, we must consider its mass and atmospheric composition, which can vary. Some astronomers claim that such planets may have oceans similar to ours or atmospheres with oxygen and nitrogen, like Earth. What's even more intriguing? About 30% of the stars in our galaxy are red dwarfs, which can have several planets in the habitable zone. This means that potentially, on 30 billion planets, there could be conditions suitable for life. Studies conducted with the Kepler telescope have discovered more than 2,000 exoplanets, and scientists are confident that this is just the beginning. Certain analyses suggest that on such planets, there may not only be water, but also organic molecules necessary for the formation of life. And here's the question: how can we study these distant worlds? In the coming years, new telescopes like the James Webb will provide us with the opportunity to explore the atmospheres of exoplanets and search for signs of life. But what's truly astonishing, on some of these planets, the temperature can be maintained within the range suitable for life, even if they orbit less luminous stars. Beyond our solar system, in the habitable zones of other stars, there may be worlds that are not even aware of our existence. Given that our galaxy contains more than 100 billion stars, the chances of finding planets with intelligent life are increasing to incredible proportions. And what's most fascinating? Soon, we may discover worlds where life has evolved in a completely different way than on Earth. Have you ever wondered why a day on Venus is longer than a year? Imagine this. The planet takes 243 Earth days to complete one rotation on its axis, but it only takes 225 days to orbit the Sun. This means that a solar day on Venus lasts longer than a year. But how is this possible? The key lies in Venus's extremely slow rotation, which is also in the opposite direction to most other planets in our solar system. This slow rotation causes a solar day on its surface to last about 12 Earth days. Moreover, Venus's atmosphere is incredibly dense, creating a strong greenhouse effect. The surface temperature can reach over 400 degrees Celsius, making it the hottest planet in our system. But that's not all. Clouds of sulfuric acid make the atmosphere highly toxic. Even if you could survive these conditions, your perception of time would be completely altered. Sunrises and sunsets on Venus are slow and almost static, as if time itself slows down. Now, let's return to how the planet rotates. Its axial tilt is only 8 degrees, which barely affects the change of seasons. And this is one of the reasons why Venus does not have a true concept of seasons. While we experience seasonal changes on Earth, Venus is perpetually silent and monotonous. Did you know that if you stood on Venus, you would see the sun rise in the east and set in the west, but it would move very slowly and almost imperceptibly? This creates unique conditions for studying the atmosphere, which last for entire days. How do scientists study such extreme conditions? They use special probes and apparatuses that can withstand pressures of 91 atmospheres and high temperatures. For example, the Soviet Venus program sent several successful missions that were able to transmit data from the planet's surface. One such mission, Venus 13, discovered remarkable information about the soil composition, which turned out to be similar to basalt, shocking scientists. But here's something even more amazing. Venus has active volcanoes, and their sizes are comparable to the largest volcanoes on Earth. Pulsars are not just neutron stars, but true cosmic clocks that rotate so quickly that their radio waves can be used to measure time with incredible precision. Imagine a star rotating around its axis up to 100,000 times per second. It is these rotation speeds that allow pulsars to emit radio waves that can be detected on Earth. The first pulsar was discovered in 1967 by astronomers Jocelyn Bell Burnell and Anthony Hewish, who noticed regular radio signals that seemed too regular to be random. These signals sounded like cosmic beacons, which is how they got their name. One of the most famous pulsars, PSRB 1937+21, rotates with a period of just 0.001 seconds, making it one of the fastest known pulsars. What is even more astonishing is that pulsars can be used to test theories of relativity. Their stable signals allow for the verification of Einstein's predictions about gravity and time. But that's not all. Did you know that pulsars can create gravitational waves? These waves arise when pulsars rotate in binary systems, causing rhythmic oscillations in spacetime that can be registered on Earth. In 1999, physicists received the first direct signal from gravitational waves using pulsars as detectors. Now imagine that pulsars can serve not only for measuring time, but also for searching for exoplanets. They can detect small changes in their pulsation period caused by gravitational effects of planets that might be in their vicinity. Thus, pulsars become not just stars, but true explorers of the cosmos, opening new horizons in the search for extraterrestrial life. In 1983, the pulsar PSRB 1937+21 became the first pulsar on which an exoplanet was discovered, marking a breakthrough in astronomy. And the most remarkable thing? There is a theory that pulsars can help in understanding dark matter, as their signals can be distorted by gravitational fields created by this mysterious substance. On the Moon, the traces of astronauts from the Apollo missions remain. Imagine this. More than 50 years ago, when humans first set foot on the lunar surface, they not only left their footprints, but also installed equipment that is still there today. Every path taken by astronauts is etched into the lunar dust, which, incidentally, is quite different from Earth's. This dust consists of sharp particles that are not subject to erosion, as on Earth, and that is why the traces remain virtually unchanged. The most fascinating thing is that in the absence of atmosphere, water, and wind on the moon, these traces can last for millions of years. Over this period, they can only be seen by the next space explorer, because the lunar surface does not change as it does on our planet. The Apollo astronauts' traces are like time capsules preserving a moment in human history that will not be lost to time. Furthermore, each step left imprints that can be easily measured. The width of the astronauts' boots was about 30 centimeters, and the depth of the imprints reached up to 8 centimeters. But that's not all. Lunar dust, known as regolith, can actually be studied using modern technologies, and scientists hope that these data will help us understand not only the moon, but also the history of Earth. Now imagine that in the future, bases will be built on the moon, and these traces will become part of humanity's archaeological heritage. Even without an atmosphere, the sunlight falling on these traces creates a fascinating play of shadows that will inspire future generations. And what is truly astonishing is that, unlike Earth, where traces are eventually erased by natural factors, on the moon, they can remain untouched for billions of years. This means that someday we may see future researchers admiring the traces of their predecessors with awe. Think about how this could change our perception of history and science. And here's another interesting fact. In the future, new missions are planned to the moon, and they may not only discover the traces of astronauts, but also uncover new mysteries related to the lunar surface and its origins. Attention to such details could lead us to learn more about how our solar system formed. One day on a neutron star can last only a few milliseconds. Imagine trying to grasp such a short period. These stars rotate at such incredible speeds that some of them make up to 700 revolutions per second. This means that more time passes on a neutron star in 1 second than we can even comprehend. But how is this possible? Neutron stars are formed from collapsing massive stars that explode in supernovae. In the moment of collapse, they lose almost all their mass, but their core compresses to extraordinary densities, resulting in an object composed almost entirely of neutrons. This process leads to a neutron star being no larger than 30 kilometers in diameter, but its mass can be several times that of our Sun. The continuous loss of angular momentum during collapse causes the star to spin faster and faster, like a figure skater who speeds up by raising their arms. And then things get truly bizarre. Rotating neutron stars can emit powerful radio waves that, if directed towards Earth, can be detected as regular pulses, known as pulsars. These pulsars can generate radio waves at frequencies ranging from several to several hundred pulses per second, making them some of the most accurate clocks in the universe. What's even more astonishing? In some cases, pulsars can even slow down or speed up, depending on their interaction with surrounding matter, creating true musical rhythms in the cosmos. This opens up incredible opportunities for scientists to study not only the nature of neutron stars, but also the laws of physics in extreme conditions that cannot be replicated on Earth. And when we look at these distant objects, we realize that they are not just astronomical phenomena. They are true laboratories on the edge of understanding, where physics meets the most mysterious. In some cases, neutron stars can even accumulate mass, leading to their transformation into black holes, and then time around them is distorted by orders of magnitude, creating even more mysteries to explore. As an object approaches a black hole, it encounters an extraordinary phenomenon known as cosmic spaghetti. Imagine flying towards a black hole, and as you get closer, the gravity begins to stretch you more and more. The difference in gravitational pull between your head and feet becomes so great that you are literally stretched into a long thread. This happens because the gravitational field of a black hole is so strong that it can warp space-time around it. Gravity on the surface of a black hole can be more than 10 million times stronger than Earth's gravity, creating conditions for such a strange phenomenon. During this process, an object can be stretched to 30 meters or more, turning into spaghetti. But what is truly astonishing is that this effect is not limited to physical objects. Even light, passing by a black hole, experiences distortion, leading to the formation of what is known as gravitational lensing. What is even more shocking? When an object falls into a black hole, it does not simply disappear. It enters a state where its information could be preserved. Some scientists, like Lionel Sayer, claim that information is not lost, but could be encoded on the event horizon of the black hole, creating an information paradox. This paradox challenges the very nature of time and space, making us wonder, what happens to an object when it crosses this boundary? Are there other dimensions it could enter? Or is this the final destination for everything that has ever existed? Research shows that at the center of most black holes lies a singularity, where the laws of physics as we know them cease to apply. For example, in the black hole X-1, discovered in 2009, research showed that the singularity has a mass of 50 million solar masses, equivalent to many planetary systems. And here arises the question, could information, falling into a singularity, ever be recovered? Researchers at Harvard University suggest that through quantum effects, this might be possible, opening doors to new theories about how the universe is structured. But this is not all. We can only speculate about how many amazing discoveries await us in the future as we explore the mysteries of black holes and their cosmic spaghetti. At the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, lies something astonishing, a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A star, whose mass is 4 million times greater than that of our Sun. Imagine this. This gigantic invisible entity attracts all the matter within a distance of 32,000 light-years. This means that even stars at the edge of the galaxy feel its gravitational pull. But that's not all. A cloud of gas and dust orbits around Sagittarius A star, moving at incredible speeds, up to 1,000 kilometers per second. This is not just any cloud. It's a true cosmic factory where new stars are born and powerful explosions occur when material falls into the black hole. How did we learn about its existence? 80 years ago, astronomers began noticing strange movements of stars near the center of the galaxy, which could not be explained by anything other than the presence of an enormous mass attracting them. Scientific observations revealed an object with a mass equivalent to that of millions of suns, but no star or planet was found. This is a black hole. But what truly makes you think? It's not the only one. Every large galaxy typically has its own black hole. For example, in the Andromeda Galaxy, the nearest to us, there is a black hole with a mass of about 100 million solar masses. And here's where it gets really mind-boggling. Scientists suggest that black holes can form from collapsing stars, but the process of their growth and evolution to such massive scales remains a mystery. How do they become so massive? The answer may lie in the accretion of surrounding matter and the merging with other black holes. But what's even more shocking? According to the latest data, Sagittarius A star is actively feeding in the center of the Milky Way. Each year it consumes about 10 solar masses of gas and dust. This means that the black hole can grow by consuming matter that was once part of stars and planets. And this is not just theoretical speculation. Observations with radio telescopes and X-ray observatories confirm these processes in real time. Scientific research shows that black holes can influence the formation of galaxies, altering their structure and dynamics. For instance, the interaction of a black hole with surrounding matter can lead to the formation of powerful relativistic jets that are ejected over vast distances into space. These jets, composed of high-energy particles, can affect the formation of star systems and even influence the chemical composition of the intergalactic medium. Have you ever wondered what the consequences might be for our galaxy in the future? Sagittarius A star could become a key factor in the evolution of the Milky Way, and its influence will be felt for billions of years. But what if black holes are not just destroyers, but also creators? Gamma-ray bursts. These are not just bright flashes of light, but true explosions of cosmic proportions that release more energy in a second than our sun does over its entire lifetime. This is not just a figure of speech. Imagine that during one such explosion, known as a gamma-ray burst, the energy released can be equivalent to 37 billion megatons of TNT, which is 100 million times more powerful than the most powerful atomic bomb ever detonated on Earth. These phenomena can occur at distances of billions of light-years from us, and their light reaches our planetary home after billions of years, like a cosmic rental that we can only observe in the form of light. What's most fascinating is that gamma-ray bursts can last from a few milliseconds to several hours, and during this time, they emit such bright light that they can outshine entire galaxies. These are not just random flashes. They can be associated with the collapse of massive stars into black holes or the merger of neutron stars, which sounds like a plot for a science fiction movie. But that's not the most unusual thing. Scientists have calculated that gamma-ray bursts can occur on Earth every few thousand years, but they can only be recorded thanks to modern telescopes like Fermi and the Gamma-ray Observatory Grechko. These instruments can detect bursts that occur at distances exceeding 5 billion light-years, opening new horizons for understanding our cosmic environment. If you thought this was already overwhelming, consider this. Gamma-ray bursts can generate sound waves in Earth's atmosphere that cause fluctuations in our planet's magnetic field. Scientists still cannot fully explain how this happens, but research continues. And of course, there is a hypothesis that gamma-ray bursts could pose a threat to life on Earth if one occurs close enough. This remains an active area of research, and we may soon learn how dangerous these cosmic phenomena can be. What is truly astonishing is that our ancestors could never have imagined such a thing, and yet, through billions of years, we look up at the sky and see these light flashes that tell us the story of the universe, happening at the edge of our understanding. The constellation of Taurus harbors one of the most intriguing astronomical mysteries, the Crab Nebula, the remnant of a colossal supernova explosion that was recorded by Chinese astronomers in 1574. This nebula, with a diameter of approximately 6 light-years, is not just a cloud of gas and dust, but a true laboratory for studying cosmic processes. Imagine that the light from this explosion reached Earth nearly 1,000 years after the event, and the explosion was so powerful that a new, bright celestial body appeared in the night sky, visible even during the day. But that's not all. At the center of the Crab Nebula lies a neutron star with such high density that 1 cubic centimeter of its matter weighs around 100 million tons. Now imagine this star rotating at a speed of 97 times per second, emitting powerful radio waves that we can detect on Earth, giving us a glimpse into the processes happening within the nebula. But wait, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Inside the nebula, different elements such as carbon, oxygen, and iron interact, forming new elements that can later become part of planets and even life. What's even more astonishing? The Crab Nebula is one of the most studied objects in astronomy, and scientists continue to uncover new mysteries related to its structure and behavior. For instance, in recent years, it has been discovered that the nebula is expanding at an astonishing speed of about 1 million kilometers per hour. This means it is actively interacting with the surrounding cosmos, creating new stars and planets. Each time scientists turn their telescopes towards this nebula, they find something new and fascinating. In particular, recent observations suggest that there may be molecular clouds within the Crab Nebula that could be potential sites for the formation of new stars. These discoveries open doors to further study the question of how life is formed in the universe. And what's even more intriguing, there are still many unsolved mysteries regarding how supernovae like the one that created the Crab Nebula affect surrounding stellar systems. Imagine a planet where rain falls not from water, but from glass shards, and temperatures reach 1,000 degrees Celsius. This is not a script for a science fiction film, but the reality of the planet HD 189733b. On this exoplanet, winds blow with such force that their speed reaches 8,700 kilometers per hour, 3 times the speed of sound on Earth. In such conditions, even the strongest materials cannot withstand the atmosphere, which consists of shock clouds that can be torn apart by extreme temperatures. But how can such a planet exist? The answer lies in the fact that HD 189733b is located just 40 light-years away from us and orbits a star that is twice as large as our Sun. Due to its proximity to the star, this world is subjected to powerful radiation flows, creating such hellish conditions. And here is where things get truly bizarre. Because the temperature on the planet is so high, water cannot exist in a liquid state, only as vapor. Meanwhile, glass droplets form from silicon and oxygen, and when they fall, their speed is so great that they can cut through anything in their path. But that's not all. Scientists have observed very strange weather phenomena on HD 189733b. They have detected that sodium clouds can form in the atmosphere. These clouds can reflect the light of the star, creating breathtaking visual effects that are impossible to imagine on Earth. But there's more. Researchers have found that powerful hurricanes can occur on the planet, creating tornadoes of glass shards that can blow away everything in their path. And the most incredible part, despite these extreme conditions, scientists continue to study HD 189733b as it may provide insights into other exoplanets beyond our solar system. Now consider this. How many more such wondrous worlds might be hidden in the vast expanse of the universe? Imagine that the universe we observe has a diameter of 93 billion light-years, yet its age is only 13.8 billion years. How is this possible? This is due to the fact that space itself is expanding. Do you know that when we look at distant galaxies, we see them not as they are now, but as they were billions of years ago? For example, the light from a galaxy 30 billion light-years away left it when the universe was just a few billion years old. So what happens to those distant objects we see? They continue to move away from us, and the speed of this movement is increasing. This contradicts our understanding that nothing can move faster than light, but that's not quite accurate. The expansion of space does not follow these laws. If you could observe that galaxy, it would appear to be moving further away, but this does not mean that its light is moving that fast. Instead, the space between us and that galaxy is simply expanding. But that's not all. Scientists say that this expansion is caused by mysterious dark energy, which makes up about 72% of the energy in the universe. This energy causes space to expand at an accelerating rate. And who would have thought that at the very center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, there is a supermassive black hole whose mass is 4 million times greater than that of our Sun? It's incredible that such giants can exist in our cosmos. Did you know that the stars we see today could already be dead? The light from them could have traveled billions of years before reaching us. It's like looking at old friends' photos and not knowing that they have changed or left. In some cases, we see objects at a distance of around 32 billion light-years, and this is only because their light exists at this moment in time. And here's where it gets really strange. Astronomers have also discovered that the universe not only expands, but that its rate of expansion is increasing. This discovery has called into question many of our ideas about cosmology and physics. But wait, there's more. In reality, many of the most distant galaxies we study may be completely different from what we think they are, and this makes our understanding of the cosmos even more intriguing. So, if you think you know everything about the universe, think again, because it is full of unexpected surprises and mysteries that are just beginning to be revealed. In the constellation of Aquarius, there lies an astonishing water cloud containing over 140 trillion times more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Imagine this. The cloud, named APM 08279+5255, is located more than 20 billion light-years away from us. To better grasp the magnitude of this phenomenon, consider that all the water on our planet, including all rivers, lakes, and seas, is but a drop in the cosmic ocean of this water mass. And here's the most mind-boggling part. This water cloud formed as a result of complex processes that occurred in the early universe when the first stars and galaxies were being formed. Scientists estimate that this cloud contains approximately 7 trillion liters of water, a volume that is almost impossible to fathom. This water cloud has become an object of study for astronomers, as its existence could significantly alter our understanding of water distribution in the cosmos and its role in the formation of life. What's even more astonishing? This water cloud could support ecosystems similar to those on Earth, but on a completely different scale. Research indicates that such a concentration of water could be key to discovering life on other planets orbiting distant stars. Scientists believe that clouds like APM 08279 plus 5255 could exist in other corners of the universe, opening new horizons for the search for extraterrestrial life. Furthermore, this cloud could contain complex organic molecules that serve as the building blocks for life. This discovery raises numerous questions. How could water exist in such vast quantities in such an early universe? And what forms of life could have emerged in such extreme conditions? Regardless, one thing remains certain. Studying this water cloud changes not only our perception of the cosmos, but also our understanding of life itself. Now imagine that in other constellations there could be similar clouds waiting to be discovered. In space, scientists have discovered molecules of alcohol, and yes, this is no joke. In the clouds of gas from which stars are formed, ethanol molecules have been found, challenging our understanding of the origin of life. Imagine this: clouds of gas and dust that could contain components necessary for the creation of organic molecules. This discovery occurred in star-forming regions like Orion, where the density of matter is such that it becomes the basis for the formation of new stars. But what is truly intriguing is that these alcohol molecules could be in a state that allows them to combine with other substances, forming more complex organic compounds. Have you ever wondered how this could affect the search for extraterrestrial life? Research shows that such molecules could be precursors to amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, which in turn play a crucial role in life as we know it. But that's not all. Besides ethanol, astronomers have also found more complex molecules like methanol and even heavier alcohols. This suggests that conditions in space could allow for the formation of complex organic molecules. What's even more shocking is the discovery of these molecules in what are known as star nurseries, giving us an idea of how organic compounds could have reached Earth. According to recent data, alcohol molecules make up about 1% of the total composition of these gas clouds. While this may seem like a small number, it is significant in cosmic terms. Scientific work using telescopes like the Atacama Large Millimeter/Submillimeter Array has allowed astronomers to study these molecules in detail and understand how they interact with each other. It's important to note that such discoveries open a new era in astronomy and astrochemistry, allowing us to look into the process of star and planet formation. Ultimately, this research could lead to new insights into how life could have arisen, not only on Earth, but also on other planets. And what's most fascinating, similar molecules could exist in other galaxies, making our search for extraterrestrial life even more exciting. In our galaxy, the Milky Way, there are estimated to be between 100 and 400 billion stars. Imagine that, more than the entire population of Earth. But this is just the beginning. According to the latest estimates, there are approximately 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, and each of them can contain billions of stars. Isn't that astonishing? This means that there could be more stars in the cosmos than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. Not all stars in the Milky Way are the same, from tiny red dwarfs that shine very faintly to enormous blue giants, the size of several solar systems. And here's where it gets really interesting. Millions of stars can have planets, and many of them have the potential for life. Did you know that some stars, like Sirius, are so close to us that their light takes only 8 years to reach Earth? But wait, there's more. In galaxies, there are not only stars, but also black holes with gravity strong enough to swallow light. At the center of our galaxy lies a supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A star, with a mass exceeding 4 million solar masses. This is simply incredible. Now imagine that some galaxies, like Andromeda, are moving towards us, and in 4 billion years, they will collide with the Milky Way, forming a new galaxy. How is this possible? It happens due to the gravitational attraction between them. And what's even more shocking, most of the stars we see in the night sky are part of our galaxy, but the light from them could have left those stars thousands or even millions of years ago. This means we are looking into the past. In the cosmos, where distances are measured in light years, this becomes a true journey through time. Furthermore, beyond our observable universe, there may be even more galaxies that we simply cannot see. Scientists suggest that the universe could be infinite, and the number of galaxies continues to grow with each new discovery. So, if you thought you knew everything about the cosmos, think again. New technologies and telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope open the door to understanding these unknown realms, where each discovery raises even more questions. And now imagine that in those distant galaxies, there could be forms of life that we can't even begin to imagine. Imagine this. Our universe is just one of many bubbles floating in the vast seas of the multiverse. According to the inflation theory, proposed at the end of the 20th century, immediately after the Big Bang, there was an incredible exponential growth that expanded space faster than light. This process could have created not only our universe, but also billions of others, each with its own physical laws and parameters. What's fascinating is that these bubbles can appear and disappear without leaving any trace, and their sizes can range from microscopic to colossal, far exceeding what we can imagine. Research shows that depending on the conditions in which these bubbles form, they can have completely different properties. One universe could be filled with matter, while another could be pure energy. And that's where it gets really mind-boggling. Imagine a universe where the laws of physics are completely different from ours, where gravity could be 10 times stronger or almost non-existent. How would that affect life, if it could even exist? And if you thought that was already surreal, it gets even more shocking. In other bubbles, time might flow differently, with one moment in our universe corresponding to an entire eternity in another. The scientific community is actively discussing the possibility of interaction between these bubbles, and sometimes even theories arise that certain anomalies in our space could be the result of such interactions. For example, mysterious dark energies and matter, which make up about 96% of our universe, could be the result of the influence of other bubbles. Scientists like Andre Linde, one of the creators of the inflation theory, continue to investigate how these bubbles might be connected to each other and how their existence could change our understanding of the nature of reality. What's even more extraordinary? The discovery of new exoplanets that could potentially support life makes us wonder if there are entire civilizations in other bubbles that will never intersect with ours. How can we confirm or refute these hypotheses? Scientific experiments, such as observations of the cosmic microwave background radiation, help us understand how our universe has developed, but what if there are other realities beyond our bubble that we will never be able to observe? All this makes us think about the true nature of our existence and how diverse and complex the world we live in is. Scientific observations reveal to us a fascinating world of hot Neptunes, planets that, in their composition, resemble Neptune, but are located at remarkably close distances to their stars. Imagine a world where the surface temperature reaches 1,000 degrees Celsius, several times higher than the melting point of lead. These planets, unlike their cold counterparts, inhabit zones where the gravity and radiation from the star create conditions that seem utterly inhospitable. But how could they have formed so close to their stars? The secret lies in the complex processes of planetary formation, where gas giants like Neptune can move to lower orbits due to interactions with other planets and remnants of the protoplanetary disk. Approximately 30% of known exoplanets in our galaxy may belong to this category, challenging our understanding of how planetary systems should look. For instance, the planet known as Gliese 380 is located just 12 million kilometers from its star, making it one of the closest hot Neptunes. the question arises, how do such extreme conditions affect the atmosphere of these planets? Upon finding themselves in such hot conditions, the gases on their surfaces can exist as ions, leading to the formation of strange atmospheric phenomena that we cannot observe on Earth. Scientists have noticed that clouds on such planets may consist not of water, but of molten glass, rotating at speeds of thousands of kilometers per hour. This opens new horizons for understanding the formation and evolution of exoplanet atmospheres. But that's not all. Some hot Neptunes may possess strong magnetic fields that are distorted by their proximity to the star, creating powerful radiation belts similar to those found on Jupiter. Imagine these planets, orbiting their suns, becoming true laboratories for studying physics and chemistry in extreme conditions. And the most astonishing thing? These mysterious worlds may be inhabited by forms of life that we can barely even imagine. At the heart of some galaxies lie quasars, and these are true light giants in the universe. Imagine this. Their luminosity can exceed that of 1 trillion stars, and this is not just a metaphor, but a factual measurement. Each quasar is an active nucleus of a galaxy, around which orbits a supergiant black hole whose mass can reach billions of solar masses. This means that such black holes can consume vast amounts of matter, generating enormous amounts of energy in the process. But that's not all. During the accretion of gas and dust around the black hole, bright radiation is produced, which can be visible even at distances of billions of light years. What's even more astonishing? The light emitted by a quasar can be millions of times brighter than the light of our entire galaxy, the Milky Way, which consists of more than 100 billion stars. Quasars were discovered in the mid-20th century, and their study has given astronomers a unique opportunity to look into the past of the universe, since the light from them can travel billions of years before reaching our telescopes. 80% of known quasars were discovered using radio telescopes, and their signals can indicate the existence of vast clouds of gas and dust rotating around the black hole. Now imagine this. Quasars can be active for several million years and then suddenly fade away, leaving behind only the shadows of their grandeur. These mysterious objects not only challenge our understanding of the cosmos, but can also be key to understanding the processes that occur in the early stages of galaxy formation. Have you ever wondered how quasars affect their surroundings? They can eject streams of matter millions of light years into space, creating powerful jets that can influence star formation in neighboring galaxies. In some cases, these jets can be so powerful that they destroy gas clouds that could have become new stars. And this is just the beginning. Scientists continue to uncover new mysteries related to these cosmic phenomena. For example, did you know that quasars can help in the search for dark matter, since their behavior can indicate the presence of invisible masses in the surrounding space? Imagine a planet where, instead of water and soil beneath your feet, there are sparkling diamonds. It sounds like science fiction, but it's actually a reality. 55 Cancri e is an exoplanet located approximately 47 light-years away from us, and its composition is a source of wonder for astronomers. The core of this planet may consist of up to 30% carbon, which under immense pressure and temperature transforms into diamonds. You heard it right. Data obtained through spectroscopy suggests that the surface may contain crystalline carbon, meaning the conditions on this planet are unlike anything we are familiar with. What's even more astonishing, the temperature on 55 Cancri A can reach nearly 2,000 degrees Celsius, making it a true hellish environment. But how could such an anomaly have formed? Scientists hypothesize that this planet may have had a very turbulent history, including collisions with other celestial bodies, which led to the formation of such exotic conditions. Even the atmosphere of this planet may contain numerous elements, including silicate compounds and water vapor with high carbon content. Now imagine what such a world would look like: an orange and red sky above, and sparkling crystals below, refracting light with incredible power. But this is not just a beautiful picture, it's a real object for study. Astronomers have already begun developing new technologies to explore such planets in the future, to understand how they form and what conditions might exist on their surfaces. However, if you think that's all, you're in for a real surprise. Besides 55 Cancri e, scientists have discovered several other exoplanets with similar characteristics, and their study is just beginning. Each of these planets could tell us about the formation of life in conditions that we can hardly imagine. The Sloan Great Wall is a colossal structure composed of galaxies, stretching over 1,370,000,000,000 light-years, making it one of the most awe-inspiring objects known in astronomy. To better visualize the scale of this formation, imagine it being 8 times longer than the diameter of our own Milky Way galaxy, which is approximately 100,000 light-years. This wall is home to more than 28,000 galaxies, grouped into clusters that are connected by vast voids, forming a complex network. Data on the wall were obtained through the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, which began in 2003 and allowed astronomers to peer into the farthest corners of the universe. Remarkably, this structure was discovered relatively recently, in 2006, when astronomers began to realize that it is not just a random distribution of galaxies, but a well-organized structure with its own patterns. However, this is not all. The Sloan Great Wall has a mass equivalent to approximately 13 trillion suns, giving an idea of its immense size. To make it clearer, envision gathering all the mass of the galaxies we see in our night sky and combining them into a single gigantic structure. But the surprises don't end there. As further study of the wall continues, scientists have found not only galaxies, but also rare quasars, which are powered by active black holes at the centers of galaxies. These quasars shine so brightly that they can be seen even at great distances, and their presence in the wall raises new questions about how galaxies interact on such vast scales. What's even more fascinating? According to the latest data, it turns out that structures like the Sloan Great Wall may just be the tip of the iceberg, and astronomers suspect that there are even more enormous and complex formations waiting to be discovered in the universe. On Mars stands a mountain that will astound even the most intrepid mountaineers, the volcano Olympus, towering at a staggering 21,900 meters, which is 2.5 times higher than Mount Everest. Imagine standing on the summit of Olympus. Below you stretches a plain the size of a whole continent, and around you are only the red and orange hues of the Martian landscape. This volcano is not just a giant, but a colossus, formed over millions of years of eruptions as magma rose to the surface, creating multi-layered lava flows. But it's not just about its height. Its base covers an area as large as an entire country, such as France, which is truly awe-inspiring. Notably, Olympus is a shield volcano, which means its sloping sides are formed by thin layers of lava that flowed slowly downwards, creating an incredibly wide base and almost flat summit. But that's not all. Olympus has a twin brother, the volcano Ascraeus, which is also impressive in size, but is only 8,000 meters tall. How did such enormous volcanoes form on Mars? The reason is that Mars has virtually no tectonic activity, allowing magma to accumulate and erupt in the same place repeatedly. This process has resulted not only in the formation of high volcanoes, but also in the creation of vast craters, such as the Hellas crater, which is about 12 kilometers deep and over 300 kilometers in diameter. These are true giants that could easily contain entire cities within their depths. Did you know that beneath the layers of dust and rocks on the slopes of Olympus, there may be traces of ancient glaciers? Research has shown that Mars once had liquid water and possibly even entire oceans that gradually evaporated. Scientific missions like Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and Curiosity have provided unique images and data about its surface that continue to astonish scientists. Scientifically based theories suggest that life on Mars could have existed in the conditions created by such massive volcanoes as Olympus. But did you know that the atmosphere of Mars is composed of 97% carbon dioxide? This creates extraordinary conditions for studying volcanic activity and learning how planet-forming processes can differ from those on Earth. Every time we look at photos of Olympus, we realize that it is not just a mountain. It is a whole story of how a planet has evolved over millions of years. And here's the mystery. If Olympus ever wakes up again? The spacecraft Voyager 1 became a true star in the world of space research, as it was the first human-made object to leave the boundaries of our solar system. Imagine this probe, weighing just over 400 kilograms, traveling through interstellar space at a speed of around 62,000 kilometers per hour. This remarkable achievement was made possible by powerful rockets that launched the probe into orbit in 1977. But wait, there's more. Voyager 1 carries a golden record with greetings from humanity in various languages, as well as musical compositions and sounds of nature. Why was this done? To ensure that if the probe ever encounters extraterrestrial civilizations, they could understand who we are. And here's an interesting fact. Voyager 1 has already left the heliosphere, the region of solar wind influence where we live, and is now in interstellar space, where the magnetic field and cosmic radiation are vastly different from our familiar conditions. But how does the probe withstand such extreme conditions? Its unique design protects it from radiation with a special shield and uses radioisotope generators for power. For example, its power sources have kept the probe operational for over 40 years, making it one of the most durable spacecraft in history. And what is truly astonishing, Voyager 1 continues to transmit data about the cosmic environment, even from a distance of more than 23 billion kilometers from Earth. This incredible distance is roughly equivalent to 630 light seconds. Now imagine that a signal from Voyager 1 takes almost 6 hours to reach us. It's like sending a message to a friend on the other side of the planet and waiting for a response for a whole day. But why is Voyager 1 so important for science? It has opened up entirely new horizons in our understanding of our place in the universe, as the data it has provided has changed our understanding of the boundaries of our solar system. And what is even more fascinating, Voyager 1 carries a testament to our civilization into the vast expanse of space, where it might one day be found by other intelligent beings. Do you know that there are places in space where stars are born, much like children in a nursery? These regions are called star nurseries, and they consist of vast clouds of gas, primarily composed of hydrogen and helium. For instance, the Eagle Nebula is not just a beautiful image in a telescope, but one of the most active places for the creation of new stars in our galaxy. It is located approximately 2,000 light-years away from Earth and spans more than 50 light-years in width. Within these clouds, an incredible process occurs. Molecules of gas begin to compress under the influence of their own gravity, and the temperature in the center of these condensations can reach millions of degrees. But the most fascinating aspect is that as a result of this process, stars are formed, and within just a few million years, they begin to shine so brightly that they become the centers of their own systems. For example, in the Eagle Nebula, you can see stars that have just begun their journey, young stars like the star Hyakkim, which has a mass 10 times greater than the Sun. These stars live relatively short lives, only a few million years, but their powerful radiation and winds create new conditions for the formation of even more stars. Now imagine this. These star nurseries become places not only for the birth of stars, but also for the formation of planets that could support life. In the Eagle Nebula, there is another interesting object, the star known as Beta Eagle, which is several times more massive than our Sun and possesses incredible brightness. Around it, powerful stellar winds rage, destroying nearby clouds of gas and creating new places for the formation of stars. But this is not all. In these regions, the atmosphere is so dense that complex molecules can form, which could be precursors to life. It's hard to believe, but in the vast emptiness of space, a constant struggle for existence is taking place. As soon as stars begin to shine, they release heavy elements into the surrounding space, which later become the basis for the creation of planets, and possibly life. These processes occur over billions of years, and each star is a new story that continues to this day. Did you know that every year in our galaxy, more than 100 new stars are born? Dark energy is one of the most mysterious substances in the universe, making up approximately 68% of the cosmos. What's astonishing is that we know almost nothing about it. Scientific models show that it is dark energy that causes the universe to expand at an accelerating rate, but its nature remains as opaque as fog. Imagine that only 32% of the matter and energy we can observe is ordinary matter: stars, planets, and even people. The mystery of dark energy leaves scientists baffled. It could be a completely new form of energy that interacts with matter in an entirely different way. What's even more mind-boggling? 80% of astrophysicists believe that dark energy can alter the properties of space-time, creating an effect that we perceive as the universe's accelerating expansion. But how is this possible? Research indicates that dark energy may be linked to the cosmological constant, a theory proposed by Albert Einstein, which he once called his greatest blunder. Nevertheless, new data from supernovae and the cosmic microwave background radiation support the theory that the universe is indeed expanding. But that's not all. Some scientists suggest that dark energy may be connected to quantum effects at the level of the vacuum, opening the door to entirely new forms of matter. And what's even more astonishing, if dark energy truly exists, it could mean that in the future, the universe will expand so much that stars and galaxies will disappear from our view. This process is known as the heat death of the universe, when all that we know will dissolve into infinite space. But this is not the only scenario. There are other theories that suggest dark energy could suddenly change or disappear, leading to catastrophic consequences. For instance, during what is known as the Big Rip, the universe could be torn apart at the level of elementary particles, making the existence of matter impossible. These ideas are indeed shocking. And what's even more intriguing? Some researchers even suggest that in the future, we may be able to discover dark energy and harness it as a source of energy, ushering in a new era for our civilization. But how will this happen? The secret may lie in the fact that our current understanding already contains the seeds of technologies that could manipulate this mysterious source. Dark energy is not just an abstraction. It is a real force that could change everything we know about the cosmos. In space, sound as we understand it on Earth simply does not exist. The vacuum does not allow sound waves to propagate. However, this does not mean that space is completely silent. Scientific research shows that there are electromagnetic oscillations that can be converted into sound waves. Imagine how NASA uses these oscillations to listen to space. For example, data from missions like Cassini, which studied Saturn, allows scientists to create audio files where the sounds coming from the planet and its rings become audible to the human ear. These sounds are nothing more than electromagnetic waves that have been converted into sound frequencies, allowing us to hear phenomena occurring at distances of millions of kilometers. If you were to be near Saturn, you would not hear a single sound, but the converted data allows us to feel the atmosphere of this distant planet. Now imagine that there are radio waves at a distance of 33,000 kilometers from Earth that can tell us what is happening in the interiors of other planets and even in interstellar space. For example, such waves as radio signals from pulsars can be converted into melodies that sound like something between music and noise, and these soundscapes allow astronomers to better understand the physics of these objects. And here is where it gets truly extraordinary. NASA has even created sounds of black holes. These mysterious objects emit sound waves that, when converted, sound like low, resonant notes, reminiscent of the noise of old instruments. If you thought this was just an abstraction, consider that each of these sounds actually represents information about massive objects that swallow light and matter. In the 21st century, these conversions have become accessible to a wide audience, and anyone can now listen to space by simply visiting NASA's website or other astronomical platforms. So the next time you look up at the starry sky, remember, there, in the silence of space, an entire orchestra of invisible frequencies is playing, waiting for someone to hear them. And the most extraordinary thing? These electromagnetic oscillations can tell us about the beginning of the universe and how it will evolve in the future. In the cosmos, there exists an astonishing phenomenon that many are not even aware of: hot Jupiters, planets that orbit their stars in the opposite direction. This is not just a curiosity, but a genuine anomaly that challenges all existing theories of planet formation. Imagine a planet 7 times larger than Jupiter, located just 30 million kilometers from its star, where temperatures can reach 1,000 degrees Celsius. Now imagine that this planet orbits in the opposite direction, seemingly defying the laws of physics. How is this possible? One theory suggests that hot Jupiters could have formed in other parts of the system and were subsequently subjected to gravitational interactions that caused them to change their orbits and rotation direction. But that's not all. What is even more astonishing? These planets can be found in systems where their stars rotate much faster than the planets, creating unique conditions for their formation and evolution. Scientists have discovered over 100 such exoplanets, and their study helps us understand how various factors, such as the mass of the star and its distance, affect orbital characteristics. For example, in the WASP 121b system, located 800 light-years away, the temperature on the side facing the star reaches 600 degrees Celsius, while on the side facing away from the star, it drops to -300. These are not just temperature anomalies, they are a true cosmic drama where conditions for life are impossible. Moreover, hot Jupiters can influence their stars, causing them to oscillate and even change their brightness. Imagine the power of one planet. However, what is truly astonishing is that these planets can challenge our understanding of planet formation systems. In some cases, their orbital inclinations can reach 90 degrees, making them resemble true cosmic upside-downs. How did they become like this? Research shows that interactions with other planets or stars can lead to such tilts, but there are still questions that scientists cannot yet answer. And the craziest part? The discovery of hot Jupiters challenges even the theory of accretion, which posits that planets form from clouds of gas and dust. These planets seem to be saying, planet systems are much more complex than you could have imagined. Each newly discovered hot Jupiter opens doors to new mysteries and theoretical models that are yet to be created. On Saturn's northern pole, there exists a storm that, in size and shape, resembles a giant hexagon and is remarkable for its stability. This extraordinary meteorological phenomenon has been raging for more than 30 years. The diameter of this hexagon is approximately 25,000 kilometers, making it larger than the entire Earth. Imagine, such a storm could cover the entire territory of the United States and still have room left for Europe. But that's not the most astonishing part. The wind speeds within the hexagon reach up to 180 kilometers per hour. This is truly a display of nature's power. Scientists believe that the hexagonal shape is formed due to complex atmospheric processes that lead to the creation of stable vortices. But here's what's even more shocking. This hexagon does not just rotate, it moves at the highest speed among all known atmospheric phenomena, making it a unique object of study. Scientists from the Cassini mission have observed this storm for many years, documenting its changes and details such as bright clouds and storms that form at its edges. These clouds consist of ammonia crystals, making Saturn's atmosphere even more exotic. Now imagine that we have data showing that the temperature in the center of the hexagonal storm can reach -150 degrees Celsius. This is not just cold, it's a real frost desert. Even under such extreme conditions, this storm continues to exist, and scientists still cannot determine exactly what keeps it active. Research indicates that Saturn's atmosphere contains a lot of invisible energy, which may be the source of power for this storm system. And if you think that's all, you're very much mistaken. Recent observations have shown that the hexagon changes its colors, transitioning from bright yellow to deep blue, depending on the time of year on the planet. But the most astonishing part is that scientists suspect there may be other similar hexagonal phenomena on Saturn, waiting to be discovered. Imagine a planet where rain is not just cold and heavy, but actual downpours of molten glass and iron. Yes, you heard correctly. On exoplanets of the hot Jupiter's class, such conditions are quite real. These giant gas giants are so close to their stars that the temperature on their surfaces can exceed 1,000 degrees Celsius. Under such conditions, the atmosphere heats up to the point where materials that we consider solid become liquid and then evaporate back into gas. But that's not all. Side winds on such planets can reach speeds of up to 7,000 kilometers per hour, comparable to the fastest storm on Earth, a hurricane. Picture molten drops of glass and iron falling at such speeds from clouds and raining down on the surface, melting everything in their path. These planets are not just worlds with extreme climatic conditions. They are filled with mysteries waiting to be discovered. For instance, on one such planet known as WASP-121b, scientists have found the presence of water vapor and sodium in the atmosphere, indicating complex chemical processes occurring on its surface. Scientists suggest that the atmosphere of these exoplanets could be so rich in heavy elements that it might form clouds of simple compounds like iron and silicate minerals. But that's not the most fascinating part. How is it possible that such extreme atmospheric conditions exist on these planets? The answer lies in their orbits and how they interact with their stars. Hot Jupiters are on very close orbits, which leads to strong gravitational forces causing tidal effects that can influence the temperature of their atmospheres. These planets are indeed a living laboratory for studying atmospheric processes that have no analogues on Earth. And the most astonishing thing? Some of these exoplanets, such as HD 189733b, have atmospheres full of clouds that could be toxic, and wind speeds there can reach over 200 kilometers per hour, creating dangerous conditions for any form of life that might exist. On Saturn's moon, Enceladus, remarkable phenomena are occurring. Geysers are erupting from cracks in the icy crust, reaching heights of up to 500 kilometers. Imagine water jets, like giant fountains, dispersing into space, forming clouds of water vapor and microscopic ice particles. These geysers are not just a spectacle. They contain evidence of liquid water beneath the icy shell, opening new horizons for the search for extraterrestrial life. There is a belief that an ocean lies beneath this crust, with a depth exceeding 30 kilometers. And that's not the most astonishing part. The geysers also eject organic molecules, which could potentially be the building blocks of life. It is interesting that these water jets can be observed from Earth. Telescopes detect these eruptions when the moon is in a specific position relative to Saturn. But that's not all. What drives these geysers? The secret lies in the heat generated by gravitational interactions between Enceladus and its massive planetary neighbor. These forces cause tidal heating, which keeps the water in a liquid state despite the extremely low temperatures on the surface. Now, imagine that in this subsurface ocean, microorganisms could exist, using chemical reactions instead of sunlight to obtain energy. This could change our understanding of where and how life might exist in the universe. Scientists even suggest that missions visiting this moon could find signs of living organisms in samples collected from the geysers. And the most shocking part? Previously, it was thought that life could only exist on planets with solid ground, but Enceladus opens doors to new possibilities. Understanding these processes not only broadens our horizons, but also raises the question, what other mysteries might be hidden within the depths of icy moons? In the cosmos, there exist objects capable of astonishing even the most seasoned astronomers. These are blazars, which are special types of quasars. Imagine this. When we look at the stars, hidden in the sky are powerful jets that expel matter over vast distances. These jets can move at speeds close to the speed of light, and if they are directed towards Earth, their impact can be felt even on our blue planet. Do you know the brightness of a blazar? It can exceed the luminosity of an entire galaxy, making them some of the brightest objects in the universe. For example, blazars can emit energy billions of times greater than our sun. How is this possible? All due to their incredible mass. At the center of a blazar lies a black hole whose mass can reach several billion solar masses. When gas and dust surrounding this black hole enter its gravitational field, they begin to spin, forming an accretion disk that heats up to colossal temperatures. As a result of this process, enormous amounts of energy are released, and as a consequence, jets are formed. But that's not all. These jets can accelerate to speeds exceeding the speed of light in a vacuum, although, according to the laws of physics, particles cannot move faster than light. This is achieved through effects related to relativistic speeds. It is interesting to note that blazars can emit not only optical light, but also X-rays and gamma rays, making them important objects for the study of high-energy astronomy. And now, the most astonishing part. There are blazars located at a distance of more than 1 billion light-years from us. This means that we see them as they were more than 1 billion years ago. This opens a fascinating window into the past of the universe, allowing astronomers to study its evolution and dynamics. If you thought this was all, wait, because blazars are also key elements in the study of dark energy and dark matter, which make up a large part of our universe. In fact, their study helps us understand how galaxies form and develop, and even may provide clues about the future path of our universe. And the most amazing thing? The sky is filled with countless mysterious objects waiting to be discovered, and each of them could rewrite our understanding of the cosmos. Dark matter. Have you ever wondered what it constitutes approximately 27% of the entire universe? It's not just a mystery, it's a real part of the cosmos that we can't see directly. Scientists first began to talk about dark matter in the 1920s, when astronomers studying the movement of galaxies noticed that they were moving too fast. How could this be? The visible matter we can observe, stars, planets, and gas, is not enough to explain this motion. That's where dark matter comes in. It exerts a gravitational influence on visible objects, but does not emit light itself. One of the most compelling clues about the existence of dark matter came from observations of a cluster of galaxies known as Abell 200. Studies showed that the mass of the cluster is 3 times greater than the mass of all the visible galaxies within it. But that's not all. Imagine that dark matter is not only invisible, but also 10 times more abundant than ordinary matter. How is this possible? The answer lies in the fact that it consists of particles that interact with ordinary matter only through gravity. But this raises even more questions. What are these particles? Some scientists suggest that they could be weakly interacting massive particles, or WIMPs, which can only be detected in specialized experiments like the Large Hadron Collider, LHC. These experiments cost billions of dollars and require incredible precision to detect even the slightest signals indicating the presence of dark matter. And here's the most fascinating part. Current models suggest that if dark matter did not exist, galaxies like ours might not exist at all. However, this does not mean we can confidently say what dark matter really looks like. In some cases, dark matter seems to create structures that cause galaxies to form and evolve. And what if dark energy, which makes up another 73% of the universe, has some connection to dark matter? This opens the door to a multitude of new mysteries. Scientists are confident that solving these riddles could fundamentally change our understanding of the cosmos. But perhaps the most shocking thing about dark matter is that we still don't know for sure if it exists in the form we imagine it to be. Every new experiment, every observation could change our understanding of the universe. When we talk about the solar system, it's important not to overlook the Kuiper Belt, where thousands of icy objects, including Pluto, which was once considered the 9th planet, are located. This region, which lies beyond Neptune's orbit, stretches from 30 to 150 astronomical units from the Sun. What's truly astonishing is that the diameter of the belt is approximately 33 billion kilometers. But there's something even more shocking. Objects within the belt range in size from small moons to giants like Eris, a dwarf planet larger than Pluto. Additionally, temperatures on these icy bodies fluctuate around -200 degrees Celsius, making them extremely challenging to study. But that's not the strangest thing. Objects in the Kuiper Belt are composed of a mixture of ice, rocks, and volatile substances. Interestingly, many of them have unusual orbits that can be influenced by the gravity of larger planets. For instance, some of them become temporary comets, approaching the solar system and creating a spectacular sight for Earth-based observers. Now imagine this. The Kuiper Belt is not just home to Pluto and Eris, but also tens of thousands of other objects that remain in the shadows of scientific attention. It is a treasure trove for astronomers seeking to unravel the mysteries of our solar system's formation. But what's truly intriguing is that many of these icy bodies may contain traces of the primary materials from which planets formed. Studies show that samples collected from the surfaces of these objects can provide information about the times when our solar system was just beginning to form. And now, consider this. We have only studied a handful of objects in detail, such as Haumea and Makemake, and this is just the beginning. With each new launch of spacecraft, like New Horizons, we are opening new horizons in our understanding of this mysterious region. So, if you thought studying the Kuiper Belt was uninteresting, think again. It holds billions of years of history of our solar system. In the cosmos, there are regions where temperatures reach levels that we could not even imagine on Earth. Imagine this. In the Boomerang Nebula, located 14,000 light-years away from us, the temperature drops to -273 degrees and 15 Celsius. This is below absolute zero. But how is this possible? In this nebula, formed as a result of a star's death, gas and dust expand at an astonishing speed, creating conditions where molecules lose almost all their heat. And here's where it gets truly bizarre. In such conditions, hydrogen molecules begin to exhibit strange properties, sometimes behaving like superpositions of quantum states. What's even more astonishing? The temperature in the Boomerang Nebula is not just low, it is the coldest known region in the universe. This discovery was made by astronomers in 1999 using telescopes on Earth and in space, and it continues to amaze. In such extreme conditions, even atoms begin to lose their usual activity, challenging many of our notions about physics. Now, imagine being in such a nebula where even light behaves differently than we are accustomed to. Gases present there, such as carbon and nitrogen, start to form complex molecular structures that could be the precursors to new stars and planets. And that's not all. The discovery of the Boomerang Nebula raises many questions about how other celestial bodies formed. What conditions are necessary for life to arise in such cold regions? Scientists are already seeking answers and suggest that molecules formed in such conditions could be the key to understanding the origin of life on other planets. And just when you think you know everything about the cosmos, it surprises you again. On the brink of absolute zero, in the Boomerang Nebula, there may be molecules that could once have been the basis for life. On Jupiter, polar auroras reach such sizes and brightness that they can outshine everything we see on Earth. Imagine this. Auroras on this giant planet are hundreds of times more powerful than those we observe in the night sky. On Earth, polar auroras are formed when solar wind interacts with the planet's magnetic field, but Jupiter's magnetic field is 20 times stronger than ours, and its atmosphere allows it to capture many more charged particles. These luminous curtains, which can stretch for thousands of kilometers, create a spectacle comparable to a genuine cosmic show. But what's even more astonishing? Polar auroras on Jupiter can glow in the ultraviolet range, making them visible to specialized telescopes like Hubble. While other planets like Saturn and even Mars also have their polar auroras, none can match the scale of Jupiter's. On Saturn, the glow is weaker but still creates stunning visual effects, and on Mars, polar auroras are mainly observed as localized bursts, as the planet's magnetic field is much weaker. And here's where it gets really mind-boggling. On Jupiter, these auroras can be caused not only by solar winds, but also by internal energy sources generated within its atmosphere. Who would have thought that such a powerful planet could create its own glow? For instance, Data from the Juno mission shows that polar auroras on Jupiter can reach temperatures of several thousand degrees Celsius. This, in turn, raises questions about how such processes can affect the planet's atmosphere and climate. But there's more to it. On Jupiter, not only are there polar auroras, but also powerful radio waves generated during these light phenomena, which can even be detected on Earth. Research shows that these radio waves may contain information about how magnetic fields interact with the planet's atmosphere. Is there a chance we'll ever see these auroras with our own eyes? While our current technology doesn't allow us to visit Jupiter, each new probe launch brings us closer to unraveling its mysteries. On Pluto, there exists an extraordinary formation that astronomers have dubbed the Heart due to its distinctive shape. This bright region is a vast plain, approximately 1,000 kilometers in length, covered in frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide. Imagine this plain, known as Sputnik Planitia, being comparable in size to several large cities on Earth. While on our planet, hearts symbolize love and affection, on this cold and distant world, the heart has become a symbol of exploration and discoveries that reshape our understanding of the solar system. The components that make up this heart are subject to constant changes, as frozen nitrogen can shift from one place to another depending on temperature fluctuations, creating a unique landscape. But that's not all. Beneath the surface, there may be an ocean of liquid water that could potentially support some forms of life. What's even more astonishing? On Pluto, temperatures can drop to minus 260 degrees Celsius, and under such conditions, this nitrogen ice behaves like a real flow, forming streams similar to rivers on Earth. The study of this heart became possible thanks to the New Horizons spacecraft, which flew by Pluto in 2015 and transmitted stunning images and data about its surface. These images reveal remarkable geological formations, such as enormous hills up to 30 meters high, composed of crystalline ice. Now imagine that beneath this icy cover, there could be not only minerals, but also organic compounds that once could have been the basis for life. This discovery challenges our notions about where life might exist in the solar system. Furthermore, some researchers suggest that the heart might not be just a surface feature, but rather an indicator of Pluto's geological activity. This means that the planet could be much more alive than we previously thought. And what is truly intriguing? What will be the next steps for humanity in exploring this enigmatic world where the heart might indeed be a source of life? At the center of the galaxy, M87 lies a supermassive black hole whose mass is 6.5 billion times greater than that of our Sun. This black hole, known as Pereira, is a true cosmic enigma, as its gravitational field is so powerful that even light cannot escape its grasp. Now imagine this. In 2029, an international team of astronomers captured its image for the first time using the Event Horizon Telescope project, which combined data from 8 radio telescopes around the world. This was not just an achievement, but a true breakthrough in astronomy. The image revealed a bright halo of hot gas rotating around the black hole, resembling a ring of light surrounded by darkness. And what is astonishing, the diameter of this ring is approximately 40 million kilometers, which is twice the distance from Earth to the Sun. But that's not all. It turned out that the speed of rotation of matter around the black hole reaches 30% of the speed of light, creating conditions for powerful relativistic effects. Do you know what is even more shocking? This black hole could be part of a more complex structure connected to other galaxies, and its study may open new horizons in understanding the formation and evolution of the universe. Research on the black hole in M87 continues, and each new fact adds more mysteries to our cosmic picture. Scientists believe that black holes may be related to dark matter, which makes up about 26% of the mass of the universe, but no one knows what it really is. The study of this phenomenon involves not only astronomers, but also physicists, who are seeking answers to questions about gravity and quantum mechanics. And do you know what is most mind-boggling? These cosmic giants can influence the formation of new stars, and understanding their nature could change our understanding of the cosmos. The Hubble Space Telescope, in its 30 years of operation, has made over 1,400,000 observations, equivalent to the amount of data that could fill around 150 terabytes of information. Imagine, every day it reveals new horizons, peering into the most hidden corners of the universe, and these data contain not only images of distant galaxies, but also information about the formation of stars, planets, and even black holes. Moreover, Hubble has become a symbol of astronomy, as its observations have led to numerous discoveries, including the confirmation of the expansion of the universe and the determination of the age of the oldest stars. But what is even more fascinating? Each image it takes goes through a complex process of processing and analysis, allowing scientists to see details that were previously inaccessible. For example, its images of nebulae like the Orion Nebula demonstrate not only their beauty, but also the incredible diversity of forming stars. But that's not all. Hubble has also helped discover exoplanets, providing evidence of the existence of planets outside our solar system. And how about this? One of its most famous photographs, the Hubble Deep Field, shows thousands of galaxies on a single image, opening our eyes to the vast expanses of the cosmos. Each time we look at these images, we realize that Hubble is not just a telescope, but a true portal to the unknown. It continues to operate even in the face of stiff competition from new telescopes like the James Webb, and its data remain invaluable to astronomers worldwide. With each new observation, we gain a better understanding of our universe and our place within it. And you know what's most exciting? Every day, Hubble sends new data to Earth that could change our understanding of the cosmos and what lies ahead in the future. Every day, approximately 100 tons of cosmic material in the form of meteor dust falls on our planet. Imagine this. It's as if several large elephants fell from the sky onto Earth every hour. Only a small fraction of this amount reaches the surface, but it doesn't make it any less amazing. In just 1 year, more than 365 tons of meteorites fall to Earth, and most of them are microscopic particles that we don't even notice. These tiny pebbles have a diverse composition, ranging from iron and nickel to carbon and silicon. What's most astonishing is that some of them could be older than the entire solar system, with ages exceeding 4 billion years. They are like little messengers from the distant cosmos, telling us how planets formed. But that's not all. Meteor dust can contain organic molecules that are the building blocks of life. This raises the question, could life on Earth have started with these cosmic gifts? In some cases, meteorites can even carry water, opening new horizons for the study of other planets and moons. For example, in a meteorite found in Antarctica, scientists discovered traces of water frozen in crystalline form. These aren't just drops, they are entire ice crystals that could have formed on other planets. Did you know that every 10 years, a meteorite the size of a car falls to Earth? Although this doesn't happen often, when it does, the consequences can be significant, from creating craters to causing local disasters. 80% of all meteorites ever found on Earth are remnants of asteroids that were in orbit between Mars and Jupiter. But that's not all. In rare cases, meteorites can carry traces of extraterrestrial life. In the 20th century, scientists found a meteorite that, according to some theorists, might contain microscopic organisms that once lived on Mars. This discovery sparked heated debates about the possibility of life on other planets. Every time we look at the night sky, we see stars, but each of them is a potential factory for meteorites that could one day fall to our Earth. And when they do, they can tell us stories about the cosmos, how it works, and how it influences our lives. Scientific research on meteorites continues, and already today, scientists are uncovering new facts about how these cosmic crumbs can change our understanding of the universe.